Many Americans see the steady climb of domestic living costs and decide to opt out, seeking a better quality of life through geo-arbitrage. It is easy to find online lists ranking the cheapest places to retire, usually spotlighting $2 street food and $500 beach rentals. These lists are generally accurate for a short vacation, but they fail as long-term financial plans. They focus on daily operating expenses while ignoring the structural costs of moving your life across borders. If we look at this comparison, a typical U.S. budget sits next to a geo-arbitrage budget. The day-to-day savings look impressive. However, the math changes once you add legal requirements. Visa mandates and tax treaties require large upfront investments that eat into monthly savings. Most overseas budgets don't break because of the price of local groceries. They fail because the expat didn't account for the legal and logistical barriers of immigration. Because of these barriers, there is no single right country. Nor ideal destination depends entirely on your starting financial leverage and your current life stage. The first profile is the fixed income pensioner, living on a strict budget of $1,000 to $1,500 a month. For this group, the priority is monthly cash flow. They need countries with low-barrier visas that recognize smaller, guaranteed government checks. Then we have the mid-tier optimizer, with a monthly budget between $2,000 and $3,000. By combining Social Security with personal savings, this group aims to replicate a high-end Western lifestyle, including private medical care, for a fraction of the price. Finally, the early retiree relies on a variable lump sum. Since they haven't reached official pension age, they must self-fund their entire move and handle all transition logistics. To find a location that actually works, we have to look past the rent prices and analyze the true costs of entry based on which of these three profiles you fit. Your first major hurdle is the visa, the legal right to stay in the country long-term. The Pensionado visa is a popular standard, with Panama being the most well-known example. The requirement is simple. You must prove a guaranteed lifetime pension of at least $1,000 per month. The result is permanent residency and access to significant statutory discounts, often 25 to 50% off on your utilities, healthcare, and travel. The trade-off is accessibility. If you are an early retiree living off savings and you don't have a formal pension yet, this lucrative pathway is completely closed to you. Contrast this with deposit-based visas, like the retirement options found in Thailand. Instead of a monthly check, you must deposit roughly $23,000 into a local Thai bank account. This provides a low daily cost of living, but it requires tying up substantial liquidity in a foreign bank, which carries its own set of capital risks. Healthcare is the next major budget item. Since U.S. Medicare does not cover you overseas, you have to completely rethink how you fund your medical needs. One option is private health insurance. In countries like Uruguay, Ecuador, and Portugal, monthly premiums for private plans typically range from $50 to $200. This gives you access to modern, often English-speaking facilities without the high premiums and deductibles common in the U.S. However, these private rates increase as you age, and pre-existing conditions can make some plans prohibitively expensive or unavailable. The second option is to join a local public healthcare system, which is a common path in Western Europe. A distinct benefit of this route is that once you are a legal resident, your ongoing medical expenses can drop to nearly zero. The trade-off is time and taxes. You'll likely face a 6 to 9 month bureaucratic process to get into the system, and you'll pay higher social taxes to keep it funded. We also have to account for the physical transition. For an early retiree setting up a new base of operations, the cost of moving can be high. Shipping a shipping container to a place like El Salvador allows you to keep the tools and familiar comforts you need to stay productive and stable, but this creates a heavy initial cash drain. If your home country property doesn't sell quickly, you are carrying the costs of 2 lives simultaneously. Finally, there is the tax trap. If you move to a country like Spain or Italy, you may be taxed on your worldwide income. This tax pays for high-quality public infrastructure, excellent safety, and beautiful walkable city centers. But it also means hiring a specialized expat CPA to navigate tax treaties, ensuring you aren't being taxed twice on the same dollar. If your net tax rate is higher than it was in the US, your usable monthly budget shrinks. High-quality public services always come with a price tag. To match your income to the right destination, we can use this three-level decision flowchart. The fixed income pensioner should follow the path towards strict pensionado programs in Latin America or the Balkans. Your goal is to find countries where your monthly check is legally recognized as sufficient income, so you don't have to provide substantial cash deposits up front. The mid-tier optimizer should aim for high-infrastructure hubs like Panama or Southern Europe. This segment should use their extra monthly funds to secure better standards of safety, walkability, and private medical access. Lastly, the early retiree should look for nations with territorial tax systems or digital nomad visas. Without a fixed pension, you must prioritize countries with lower bureaucracy and keep a 6-month cash buffer in a U.S. account to manage the lack of a guaranteed monthly check. An overseas retirement budget fails when you plan for a vacation but ignore the reality of becoming a resident. Choose your destination based on visa and healthcare structures aligning with your actual income flow, rather than chasing the lowest rent on the list.